Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with your reading, what you need to know for July. We're starting off with Eight of Wands and Six of Wands. Quite a thing to see. Eight of Wands and Six of Wands. Eight of Wands is about the direction that you're moving in. Starting off with the Eight of Wands shows that stuff can get moving. So if it's moving at a regular pace, you can feel like it starts going even faster than that. Sometimes Eight of Wands can feel a little bit... it's going to feel like energy is focused and moving in a single direction or just in few directions. It's not going to feel like you're all over the place. It can feel like something happens and there's only like one lane that things are moving down. To have it be moving into the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a card of success. It's a card of accomplishment, victory. So if there's something that you've been working through, or there's something that you've been trying to complete or finish or come out on the other side of, like those types of things, it shows you doing that. Something that you've been trying to accomplish, working towards, all of those things, it shows you doing that. So in the month of July, you're going to be moving into a win. This is something that will feel substantial. I'm also seeing Hanged Man and Ace of Cups and Ten of Wands. I'm hearing the word reduction. I'm seeing Ten of Wands, but I'm also seeing Justice here too. So if you've been going through something that feels stressful, some of you with a family member or stuff from your past can be involved in this. It doesn't have to only be that. It doesn't have to only be an interpersonal thing. It can be other stuff as well. If you've been going through a time that's been stressful, having Justice here shows that being like equalized or that being balanced out. And so something that could initially been feeling like overwhelming to you, Justice is going to bring things back into the center. So rather than feeling like I'm exhausted right now or I'm super stressed out right now, it's going to bring things back into balance with that energy. Okay. This thing that's going to be turning into a space of success for you, this is something that you are, it feels like a continuation of something that you've been doing. It feels like, you're either going to be moving to the next steps of something, or this is something that you are continuing doing. It's like an investment of some sort. Something that you've been processing, something that you've been manifesting. To have Hanged Man and to have the Ace of Cups here, oh, you're going to be really happy with this, the way that this goes, is what I'm seeing. You're going to be really happy with the results of something. You're going to feel like it's a success, whatever this is that you've been investing in. When I say investing, I mean this is something that has been... You've been giving your energy to this. It's something that you've been nurturing. It's something that you've been taking care of. It's something that you've been feeding. And I'm seeing there be like a deep fulfillment with this. It doesn't feel like it's over though. This feels like... It feels like there may be parts to it. Like rather than just being one finish line, like maybe there are multiple finish lines, if that's even a thing. Like that's what this is looking like to me. So there can be like, I crossed the finish line here, and also the like whole marathon isn't done yet, but it can be like one part of it, metaphorically speaking. That's what this looks like. So the part of the line, the part of the marathon that you're crossing the line with, I'm seeing you get really good outcome where you're like, this is so successful, like feeling really happy with that. Because I'm seeing 10 of Cups be there too. So it's something that it's going to feel really good internally for you. Like in the heart space, you're going to feel really connected to it. There can be like big joy that's connected with it. That's the direction that I'm seeing you going in the month of July. And this is something that you've been investing in, and I'm seeing you be like, yes, it's working, or this is going the way that I wanted it to, or you can like hit a, what is it? When you have like a mark of what you want something to hit, it feels like that type of thing with this. Something that you could have even been like, if it gets there, I'm going to know that this is working or that I made the right choice here. Like that's what's going to happen. It's going to hit that. And you'll be like, this was the right thing to be doing here. So I'm seeing this be something that feels like it's going to encourage you to continue investing in whatever this is that you've been investing in. So this means too, like you can see the result of something, even if it's something that you're still going to be continuing doing, because this doesn't feel like it's over. This feels like, I keep getting the word benchmark, but I don't think that that's the right word. It's like you hit the threshold of something or whatever you were marking as like, this is working or this was the right thing. And so you're going to see something as having some type of outcome, something along the lines of that you wanted. And again, it will like reinforce you to continue doing this and that you're like, this is the right thing for me to be doing. This is where it's at for me. It's like that type of thing. You may start measuring your success in a different way. This is a goal that you've had. Having Hanged Man, coming back to this, having Hanged Man and having Ace of Cups feels like if there's a way that you're framing things, you may not be able to perceive the Ace of Cups, which is going to be like a door opening, a door to connection, an opportunity to connect in a very pure way. If you keep framing something in the way that you are, like you may not see the gift of what that is, but with the Hanged Man, it feels like getting to a place where you're able to perceive something, where you're able to feel something, where you're able to connect with something, whereas before in the old space that you were in, mentally, spiritually, this is something that may not have been available to you, but because of doing this work spiritually, because of making this progress, because of evolving, it seems like something then you like see it and you're like, oh, that's there for me, like that's available to me, that type of thing. It'll feel like something very pure that you can connect with. But some stuff needed to be figured out. I will say this too, maybe before there was something going on where there could have been something that you were figuring out, but something that you weren't seeing yet, or something that you were undecided on, or something that it was like a long process and it could have moved much more slowly than you wanted it to. Or something could have just been like up in the air, ambiguous, confusing, or just unclear. Something along the lines of that. Feels like it's going to help you see what needs to be seen here. Moving into a point where a decision's going to be able to be made, but it could have been something where some things needed to be resolved or figured out before you could do this. Feels like it's about where you're going. Like where you're moving to. some of you, what I'm seeing is that there is something that becomes available to you for you to connect with, but there's some type of thing that happens where a decision is not immediately made. It feels like it's happening during a time when a lot of stuff is going on, or you could be like tending to many things, or it could just feel like, I just overall get the feeling of a lot is going on. This isn't a great time to have to do this or figure this out or make this call. Something like that. It's like a door that opens and you're like, do I go through it or do I not go through it? But I'm seeing it happen again at it feels like an inopportune time almost, where I'm seeing you have a lot on your plate, and so you can be like, how am I supposed to make this decision right now? I have all this other stuff going on. Something along the lines of that. Because I'm also seeing you two be in a space where I was seeing the Magician wanting to come out, and if it did, it would have fallen under Justice, which is about wanting to make sure that like you're seeing things from a balanced place. And it's a balance between like the head and the heart, and that you're not ungrounded in what you're doing. Having Neptune here can be a little bit of an ungrounded energy, where if you're not being totally realistic, or if there's a part of you that's like not totally being honest with yourself, it can sort of carry you away. So it's about seeing through that. I'm hearing crowdfund. Okay. It's Queen of Cups that's coming out below Justice. This is about needing to make a sound choice that may be emotionally motivated. Like there's a part of you that's coming up. Queen of Cups is the part of you that you're tuning into things and you're sensing things and you're being present to your emotions, but you also want to make sure that you're considering like logically how you feel or what you're thinking, and that you're being rational in the choices that you're making. And so it's about balancing what your heart is telling you. It's like needing to balance the Queen of Cups and also the Queen of Swords. So rather than just like making a choice based off of what you may be feeling in any given moment, it's also about like thinking about it too, and making sure that you're using your discernment in that way as well. I'm seeing something about that towards the end, it seems. So this can be something where emotions are involved, but you also need to think as well and move through a situation in that way, where you're like, I'm in touch emotionally and I'm present emotionally, but I'm also mentally engaged. So using your discernment again in that way. But there may be something that feels a little bit difficult on you emotionally. Like it may be, for some reason I'm seeing it be important that you do things from a level space, so as to make sure that what you are attracting, what you're manifesting, your intention is to further allow balance and harmony in your life, rather than something that's going to be chaotic or something that's going to be destabilizing for you. You can also feel more emotionally activated in the month of July as well. Happy Cancer season for those of you that recognize. I do think that this is about moving through things in a way where it feels like there's going to be a continuation with what you're doing, but doing so in a way that feels like it is balanced and level. I'm seeing that be a really big theme. So you can still continue doing what you're doing, but make sure that you're not like veering off too far, like on one side of things. So you're not in the extremes, but more so in the middle with what you're doing and how you're tending to things. I'm seeing too that there's something that's going to be realized, and it feels like then at that point you're going to be able to make a choice, but until then you could feel like you're not ready to. And it's about what you are moving towards, what you have the option of moving towards, because it's something where there's like the potential of something in front of you, and you get to choose what you do or don't want to do with that. And also too, needing to make sure that it's something that you feel at peace about, what's motivating you, the choice that you're making. I want to say this again, it feels like this happens at a time where there's a lot going on, where something may be happening where you're sort of needed everywhere all at once, and then you also have this other thing that's hanging in the balance, and you have to figure it out with everything else that you have going on. Moving in a direction where you're really tuning in and following your heart. There is a decision that's going to be made only after something is realized. Feels too like there's a lot of pressure on you. This feels like emotional pressure on you. So I don't know what's going on externally, but I'm seeing from an internal space, there's a lot that you're dealing with. The challenge is to keep things balanced during this time. Rather than like going off the deep end, it feels like keeping level, like keeping your head above water and making sure that what you're doing is like how you're making your decisions, it's promoting that's your intention. I'm seeing you move towards something. It's going to be a new chapter for you. What it's going to be involved with is something that you feel connected with potentially. All potential here, because this is just, again, like a door that opens and you get to choose whether or not you want to go that way. Do I want to close it? Do I want to lock it? Do I want to leave it open? I'm not ready yet. Do I want to go through it? That type of thing that's going to be happening. And also too, you're going to see something be very successful that's connected with something that you have been investing in. This isn't something that you start investing in. This is something you've been investing in. And you're gonna get some type of result, or something's going to happen where you're like, you feel like it's a win for you, and it's something that's gonna feel, I'm hearing the word empowering, so you'll feel empowered by it. Seeing Libra, I'm seeing Leo on the bottom of the deck. Just pay attention to the way that energy is flowing. It feels like there's a lot of energy that's intersecting with one another. So it feels like being able to sort of put everything in its category to understand how things are interacting with one another, you may find to be helpful at this time. Prioritize mental health and balance. I'm seeing that also be important. Mental, emotional health, what you need to do for yourself. That can even just be making sure that you're being mindful moving through this. It's going to be a time where it may be a little bit more stressful, and that's why it needs to be counterbalanced in that way, where there's more of an emphasis on that. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.